I'm Ashley.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm not Ashley. I'm Sadie, and welcome back to another episode with the Misfits podcast. We've got an exciting one today. We're going to talk about some little bit of personal, some little hot topic stuff. So, with that, here's our lovely disclaimer.
The information shared on this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your health, fitness, or nutrition routine. The views expressed are our own and do not substitute professional medical guidance. Boom.
Sorry, awkward pause. Here we go. Like,
Dun, dun, dun.
you guys should just come to expect that it's going to be an absolute crapshoot most episodes, but that's all right. So, like I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about vices and some stuff that you're not realizing is going to be detrimental or affecting your progress, health, all that stuff as much as you guys think it is. I kind of had my eye opened up to a lot of stuff, and with that, Nelson, you kind of had a big change recently too. With your lifestyle and health and stuff. You want to kind of touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So what a lot of people don't realize is how many bodybuilders smoke. I have been clean for 2 months now.
That's awesome.
It's a huge thing for me. I've been smoking for over half my life, for 18 years. I started smoking at the age of 14. Obviously, that was before legal age. And it's just become a nasty habit since then. And the reason why I quit smoking is I'm not a podcaster. I do not listen to podcasts, as weird as that sounds. But I saw a little snippet on TikTok of Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson. And if anybody knows me, I am obsessed with Mel Gibson.
I did not know that.
I am obsessed.
Okay, where did that come from?
Acting. I absolutely love the man.
I do love me some Mel Gibson.
Okay, what's your favorite, real quick, what's your favorite show? Movie?
Movie? Patriot.
Yes.
Number one favorite movie
So sad, though.
for my entire life.
That makes me think of The Gladiator, which is like my fifth favorite movie.
Your fifth favorite.
Oh, I have a list.
I do too.
Okay,
I
anyway.
definitely do too. No, that's fine.
What's the one that he plays? It's like a Scottish one.
Braveheart?
Yeah.
No, you can ask me. Like, I've watched every Mel Gibson movie. I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not to go on a sign wind, but then who's your favorite actor? Is he your favorite?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So, that's tough. Oh my god, and now I'm not gonna think of his name, and it makes me feel like a bad secret wife that he doesn't know that he has. The one that plays Venom.
Oh, God. Tom Hardy.
There you go, with the beautiful, thick British accent.
Okay.
And he's just a glorious man. He doesn't know that he's my future ex-husband, and that's fine. Maybe he'll hear this, and he'll finally propose. So
Yeah, he's a really good one. I do like me some Tom Hardy.
it's a level. I follow an Instagram page called Tom Hardy Holding Puppies. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, there's that.
Wow.
What about you?
Okay, one guess. I feel like you guys should like be able to figure this out.
Well, it can't be Eminem because he's a rapper.
But he was an actor in 8 Mile.
Oh, I
So
suppose. Okay, so is
technically he's
it
an
really?
actor.
It is Eminem.
Okay, fine. I have a second.
I mean, I'm not judging.
Ryan Gosling.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, okay, he's a good one.
Yeah,
He's
but
so
I
pretty though.
I like that. In The Notebook,
Never watched it.
I was a little disappointed in his role in Barbie.
Never watched it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, who is this? I was disappointed.
See, I don't watch that.
Edgy Ken.
Crap.
Tell you what.
The other one that I really like,
Ryan. I like Jason Bateman a lot, just because he's so like
He's-
dry
okay.
and funny. He just
But
kills
he
me.
can also play like,
Oh, in Ozarks.
yeah.
Oh my! I was like, sir. Stop
I'm
it.
like, I don't know if I like you like this. You're supposed to be funny.
I liked it.
But
a
I
lot.
loved it. I did.
I like it when
did too.
like comedians, or not comedians, but like lighter actors will do super dark roles and just kill it. And you're like,
Yeah. Like,
I'm
it's that
sorry.
dark humor.
I'm like, sir.
Yeah, I liked it.
I am having such a brain fart because the other one I'll think of it.
Okay, what about
yeah.
actress? Since we're on actors, we gotta tell them our actresses. Mine's Angelina Jolie. All day.
Oh my god. Carmen something. Carmen.
What is she in?
I'm so bad at names. It's not even funny.
Apparently.
I'm literally not gonna be able to think of it. I'll figure it out.
Jeez, you guys are terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You guys keep going a minute. I'm like,
I'm sure everyone right now listening is like screaming all of these names. It's not Carmen Electra. for
okay,
everyone trying to think of
Glenn
it.
Powell.
Ooh, Twisters.
Yeah,
Twisters.
and then he was also on Anyone But You.
Yep,
And
yep.
then The Hitman, which that was
Hitman was
that
really good.
Yeah.
That was really good. It was
I think
funny.
he's on some Hallmark movies.
He's got a Hallmark movie face for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I like him a lot.
Um,
Actors, actresses.
Mine's not Carmen. It's Cameron Diaz. I was close.
Oh yeah,
I just like her. Like she just seems like she'd be super cool to hang out with.
I like Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
See,
I don't like
And,
Julia Roberts. I don't like her. I don't know
go
why I don't.
Back and forth with Sandra Bullock because sometimes I feel like she's like, some of her roles I feel like she's
Miss
trying too hard.
Congeniality?
I know. I don't know.
Come on. And she's hot.
See, that's why I like Cameron Diaz because I'm like, girl.
Oh, I love Jolie back in her prime. Now she's, I mean, I still love her. She will always be my favorite, just like Mel Gibson. But she got very, yeah. She's not full anymore, which is, it's sad. Tomb Raider, oh man. Let's be honest.
Ooh, Kate
I like
Hudson.
Kate Hudson a lot.
Yep.
She's got a Netflix series out right now. I can't remember what it's called. But she essentially becomes the owner of the LA basketball team because her family, her dad
I've seen
owned
that,
it. And then
yes.
when he passed away,
Yes.
she became the manager and the brothers. And it's
Yeah.
actually really good. We're not done with it yet, but
Yeah.
I just like, she's classy. She has always been classy.
I like Melissa McCarthy a lot.
McCarthy.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
she's
just
so
because she,
funny.
oh, dude, she kills me. The one with her and Jason Bateman, I'm like, this might be my favorite. Identity Theft might be
It's
my
like-
favorite movie
That's
ever.
so funny.
Kill it. Anyway,
Okay,
Side tangent.
so you saw Mel Gibson on
Yes.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes.
And that must have inspired you, so tell us more.
It did. So, if any of you guys know Mel Gibson, he used to be a raging alcoholic, drug addict, chronic smoker, and he talked a little bit about that. And he came across this book named Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And Gibson had said that it just changed his way of thinking about smoking, and he was able to quit drugs, drinking, smoking by just reading that book, and that piqued my interest. So I read the book, and I shit you not, guys, like, it rewires your brain in a way that you don't even believe that you used to smoke. So if any of you guys are smokers, even if you guys aren't even planning on quitting, because I wasn't planning on quitting, read the book. It will literally change your life, and I'm not kidding.
So is it just on smoking, or is it for addictions in general? When you say that he
has multiple books.
but this one specifically.
Yes,
was
this
for
one
smoking.
specifically. So this one's good for like cigars, vaping. He actually has one that is strictly for vaping.
Interesting.
But let's see.
vaping drives me nuts, and I'm sorry if any of you out there vape, but sweet God.
Do you know kids do that in like the bathrooms?
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
realize
so
how
naive. To
wildly like
But-
bad for you it is. Like,
well,
Well, don't you know the song "Smoking in the Boys' Room"?
I know. It's nothing new. I think it's just because it's so readily available. Like, just hold it in your pocket.
She's so innocent.
Well, you
Keep
know
your
what?
innocence, Ashley.
No,
Keep
but
them.
I mean, like, you don't need a lighter or fire. Like,
Yes,
you can
and
literally
there's-
just pull it out of your pocket,
there's
take a couple huffs.
Yeah.
so
and
many
then
different
move
like
on.
hidden devices and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I mean, just in my job in general, some of the stuff we come across, you're like, I wouldn't even have thought of that. Like, you what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, with the vapes too, one thing I've noticed is, and this is not new by any means, but you can put a lot of illegal things in them, and it just smells like bubblegum and grapes
Yeah.
instead of other things.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they do it, but yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But anyway,
Well, that's awesome. So it rewired your brain. Do you find that you have any cravings? Like, what was that first week
Okay,
like for you?
that is a huge that's a very good question.
Because you've quit before when you had
Yes,
your surgery.
I've quit like. So yeah, I did. I had to quit I had a breast augmentation done. I had to quit a week prior, the week of, and the week after. So 3 weeks I had to be smoke free. Obviously, I went back to smoking because I craved it. This time around, the first week, no cravings, no withdrawals, not even a thought of
Really?
smoking. I'm telling you, this book is insane.
It's almost like kind of like when like people do like the like hypnotism for it.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but like not being hypnotized.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the book again?
Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking, and he has multiple ones, so I have
Okay.
a few down.
Which, and we can definitely link that in, or not link,
Yeah.
but we'll put it in the show notes too for anyone that's curious or just wants to even look at
Yeah,
them.
and like I said, he has many different ones. He has to stop drinking without willpower, controlling alcohol, vaping, emotional eating and drinking, cannabis, cocaine, mindfulness. So pretty much freeing your mind from worry and anxiety. So that would be a good one for a lot. Yeah, he has a lot. Digital addiction, gambling, caffeine. Like, he has so many, and I highly recommend anybody to look into any of his books that might have an addiction. It's insane. A lot of times people don't realize why they smoke, and he goes over that. Like, it's insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I think it's kind of because I remember back in high school that was kind of the thing, and not everybody, but I feel like in society it's kind of gone like through these pendulums. Because do you remember being little and advertisements for smoking all over? Like, it was on shows,
Actually,
it was on commercials, it was
no.
on magazines. You don't?
They quit doing commercials back in the 70s.
See,
So that's the thing that I'm going to go over.
I know that I remember
I feel
seeing
like I
it
remember
on,
seeing like the camel ones.
Yes.
And maybe it's just if
maybe.
we're bringing
and
like...
it was a female. I feel like it was always a female, or it was
But
like
notice
a
how
cowboy.
they don't
I
have it
remember
anymore.
the cowboy. Yeah.
And in the magazines. But that's what I'm saying. Like, now it's kind of like not.
Do you want to know? This is another thing Alan
Yeah.
goes over. Do you want to know how they promote it?
Yeah.
Movies.
Okay.
So like Die Hard with Bruce Willis,
Mm-hmm.
Mel Gibson, those badass
They're always
actors
smoking.
and
But even
actresses.
that
They're
was
smoking
back-
during that.
Was back then. I just feel like now you don't
That's how-
see it a whole lot.
Other than, like you said,
Movies.
other than in the
Except
That's how they
movies.
promote
Yeah.
it. Because they're name one smoking commercial.
I can't. No.
Yeah.
And
Other than
you
like
don't
those
see
super
it.
old school, like I said, the
Right.
camel ones, but that's been...
Yes. They
And you don't-
Dates me a
target
little bit.
young kids. That's how
Yeah.
they got me.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of badass actors. I love my action-filled movies.
Mm-hmm.
They are targeting the young audience.
I remember the females.
Because
they'd
you want
always-
to look... Yeah,
they'd have their
exactly. They have the
cigarette
Virginia
long.
Slims,
It
and
was bougie. And,
back then it was an elegance thing
Right.
for
Yeah.
them.
Well,
And
and
like
it was wealth.
Alan goes through all of this, like it's insane. I could talk about this all day.
Well, I think way back when, for like women and stuff, didn't they used to promote it for like eating and like to like stay skinny,
Like
basically,
appetite.
like appetite suppressant control,
Well,
like
and it does have
Yes.
an appetite suppressant property to it, and I
Apparently
think
that
just,
didn't do that to me.
well. But also, we've had people report too just that habit of putting their hand to their mouth, their hand to the mouth. So then when they stop smoking, not only do they constantly want to chew to keep their mouth busy, but they want that motion of hand going to the mouth, so eating. So yeah, I honestly, there is not one true addiction that, like you're talking about smoking. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to empathize, and I empathize with you, that's not what I'm saying, but sometimes it's hard for me to take an alcoholic or take a smoker, and I'm just like, well, why don't you just quit? I don't get it. Like, so that's sometimes hard for me to
Nicotine is the
empathize.
hardest addiction to
Right.
kick.
But since I've never
Cocaine,
had that
meth
true,
is said to be easier than nicotine.
right.
was such a like I feel like too, and obviously I'm not a smoker, never was, but I grew up with like smokers and stuff. Like my mom used to, and she's gone back and forth, back and forth. She hasn't for I can you tell you last time when now. But yeah, it's also like a very like societal thing. Like even like I know lots of people they don't smoke like unless they're drinking, and then they're drinking and they're
Social
just
smokers, yeah.
yeah, and then
Right.
they're just chain smoking, or you know like the people like after you have sex like they go out and have a cigarette, or you know just that type of stuff. Like it's just it's kind of like drinking. Like it's a very like societal accepted.
It's an activity.
Yeah,
Actually,
activity
it's
type thing.
not accepted.
Any smoking anymore?
I guess that's what I was trying to get at before. Like I
think
feel
it's
like
more
now
vaping
it's
now
kind
for
of
that.
Yes, but like again, back to this book because it opens up so many avenues and like thoughts of process of thinking is actually not accepted because back then you could smoke anywhere. You can smoke anywhere, inside, outside, you know, everybody smoked.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like recently, within the last like, well, I guess the past like 10 years I've smoked, I feel ashamed of smoking. Like, I don't like to smoke around people because I felt the judgy eyes. That's how a lot of smokers feel
Yeah, that's how
because they're confined to certain spots that they
Yeah.
can only smoke, like
Right.
designated smoking. You can't smoke anywhere.
Right.
So it's not
that's what I
accepted.
was kind of getting
Yeah.
at. Like before, you know, back when I was growing up, it was popular. You saw it
Yeah.
advertised, but then it was like this pendulum swinging of, well, now it's not acceptable. It's interesting though because working in a hospital, you know, obviously zero smoking,
Right.
and even almost 20 years ago, you could still smoke on the premises.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're outside, but you could smoke outside
Right.
the doors. But now, you know, it's nowhere on property at all, and I think that's most healthcare facilities now.
Yeah.
But when you talk to some of the older nurses, it's crazy that the providers used to round in the morning with their ashtray on their cart,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that there was actually like a smoking room in the hospital,
Yeah.
and I think that was pretty common.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy. Like my mind, I'm like, you
You
can't
can't even-
smoke anywhere on the premises of most places.
Yeah.
You know, let alone like in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Near oxygen.
This is fine.
Like,
Well, yeah, right. Exactly.
No, I remember like my first job was I was a host at 14 in like a sports bar type setting.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh yeah, dude.
I can't see you doing that. That's
yeah.
flipping
I was-
weird.
Well, okay, so my mom
Oh
worked
my
there
gosh.
for yeah, my mom worked there for forever. And so it was just, I mean, yeah, I was like, well, we don't want a job, I want extra money.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, you can host on the weekends with me. So anytime she was like, on the weekends when she would work, I would go and do like, and I kind of got like the good shifts, like the morning,
Of course.
like
Yeah.
the night shifts, because
Yeah.
my mom worked there. But I can remember like we would have like the smoking and the non-smoking
Yeah.
section. Like
I
I
remember that too.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of times like my mom would come home after working, like if she worked like a night shift or something, like and just reek a cigarette smoke, whether she was smoking or not. Like it was just I remember when it was still like in like restaurants, and it was like but yeah, it was always fun like the smoking or not smoking, but yeah, if there was anyone in the smoking, like the whole building was just
Yes.
right. Like we're not gonna blow it
Yeah.
in your face,
Yeah.
but you're still gonna
Oh, I hate
leave
that.
and like reek of it.
I
Yeah.
despise that.
'Cause
Like
see-
being a smoker myself, I don't want smoke being blown in my face.
So let me
Oh,
ask
I
you
hate-
something. Like while you were smoking, because something that I've heard people say just in general, whether it was like patients trying to quit or acquaintances, one thing that I have heard is I don't even want to smoke. Like I don't even want to smoke, but I can't stop. So did you ever feel that, or did you genuinely
Oh,
like
every day.
enjoy smoking? You're like, I don't have this desire to quit, because you know we do hear that from people. Like I
Yeah.
want to quit, I just can't. Like I don't like this habit. And I think you could insert that for anything, drinking, etc.
Oh,
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, nicotine is the most addictive drug. I mean, it's a drug, it's a poison. If I could go back knowing what I know now, before I lit my first cigarette, I would not smoke. I wouldn't have done it. But another thing Alan goes through in his book, you know, when you first start smoking, you do it because you want to look cool. Women back then, they wanted to look sophisticated.
with their long little sticks.
Correct. Yeah, and the like the slim,
Oh yeah, that's
slim
what my
ones,
mom
Virginia
smokes.
Slims.
Yep.
It was a sophistication thing, but I mean, when I was 14, everybody just wanted to look cool. So then you just kept doing it, and when you first take your first drag of a cigarette, you're coughing because it's trying to expel the poison. That's why you cough, is because you're trying to get rid of the poison that is entering your lungs. But you work so hard to be a better, quote unquote, smoker. So then you just continuously do it, even though you know it's bad for you. It's not going to do you any good in the long run. I mean, it's not to say you want to quit smoking. It's just, you just got to do it. And I mean, like I said, I had no plans on quitting until I was intrigued by a book, because I like to read, and Mel Gibson, obviously. And Alan Carr was a 5-pack a day smoker.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even think of like the financial.
I was just thinking that too, like the money. Unfortunately, that's the first thing that.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
the
oh my
health
God.
detriments, but like
How expensive.
the dollar signs that just went through my head daily.
5 packs a day. That is 100 cigarettes.
Oh my gosh.
That's just like that's literally your definition of like chain smoking. It's just
Well, I
constant.
figured it out last night because, of course, my mind was running. As you guys well know, I was texting you. That is 7 cigarettes per hour.
That's
If you have an
Okay,
8 to
so
5
that's
job,
like one approximately every 10 minutes, a little bit more.
yep,
But if
9
every
minutes and some odd
cigarette
seconds.
is like taking you, how long does that average cigarette take? 3 minutes, 4 minutes if you're
I would say keep the math simple. 5 minutes
okay, 5 minutes. So you are literally giving yourself like 3.5 minutes of no
rest.
cigarettes.
Of rest time for your lungs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you have an 8 to 5 job,
How'd you get anything done?
I don't.
well, back then you can smoke all willy nilly.
That's true. That's true.
Because I think Alan is, I think he said 60 something by the time he wrote that book. So I mean, back then you could just light up whenever you wanted.
He's lucky he made it to 60.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So 7 cigarettes per hour. If you have an 8 to 5 job, you wake up at 7 and you go to bed at, I think I configured it at 9 o'clock at night. So from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., you're smoking 7 cigarettes per hour.
Shoo.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, you would not give your lungs a break.
No. And then can you imagine when you were sick?
Oh.
Like, and that's the sad part too. Like, we have seen, people, obviously, and you guys have seen that too out in public and that, where they're clearly sick, but they're still puffing. And that's just sad, because that's how you know that they are truly addicted. Because you can't tell me anybody wants to be standing out in negative 20-degree weather, for one thing. Those are your diehards.
I'm raising my hand for those of you who cannot see me.
But then on top of that, the smokers that they're actually physically ill, whether it's a virus, bacteria, GI, respiratory, and they're still out there smoking.
Well, and they have a tracheotomy thing.
Right.
They're
Right.
still
Okay, trained.
smoking.
The amount of people, that I've seen that have had those, and I'm like, you, again, not trying to throw shade at all, but I'm like, you literally had it to the point where, like, you had to have pieces of your body taken out, and you're like, this will be fine.
Well, I mean, dead serious.
Wild.
You can give a smoker all the warnings. They're not going to quit just because
Until
of
they
the
want
warnings. Well, not even that. I didn't want to quit. I thought I enjoyed it.
So what was it about this book that just like switched it?
Honestly, it was all Mel Gibson. I'm not kidding. And I don't know what. Like I said, I am not a podcaster. I don't listen to him. I don't watch him. But something in me just made me want to watch it. It was a 3-hour-long podcast.
Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Rogan's
Rogan's
are
are so long.
Like,
A long.
I don't have 3 hours to spare in my day. Time is precious to me. But something in me made me want to watch it.
Isn't that great? I think that's the power of the universe.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I say that all the
It
time.
is,
But
though,
I,
right time, right place.
Yeah.
It's just something that compels you to
you
do
were
that.
meant to listen to that.
Exactly.
And you did.
And if he never mentioned the book, I would still be smoking. Guaranteed.
So, what have you noticed? So, between, like, when you try to do it, I don't want to say, like, organically, but, like, the last time that you tried to quit for, like you said, for your augmentation, like, you had to. So, that was, like, I don't have a choice. I have to do this.
Right.
But between that time and this time, what are, like, the main things that you notice that were different or, like, better?
Like, physically?
Or, it's just both.
how are
like,
you
in
able
your-
to be successful
Yeah, this time compared to
versus-
last time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's flipping book.
But even
I'm not
for
kidding.
For your surgery, because typically we tell patients like stop smoking because of the respiratory for anesthesia, their heart rate, etc. But then also for tissue healing. So like, what kept you from smoking prior to surgery? Because the cravings had to still been there, but was it just like I was told not to, so I'm not going to, like kind of that
Essentially, yeah.
obedience,
I mean,
or the fear?
and this might be different for everybody. You know, when I was told that I had to quit smoking for this, like I'm spending damn near $10,000 on
So you
my
want everything to
boobs, you know. So I mean, when I knew I had to quit, I didn't have craves or withdrawals or anything. It was weird. I didn't crave it. I was fine. It's like I never even smoked. But then when I knew I could smoke again, I started right back up.
Interesting.
No problem. And yeah, like I said, this time around, I'm telling you, I swear by this book. It puts a whole new perspective on smoking, vaping. It's insane.
What have you noticed? So since you have, so you're 2 months or 60 days, basically.
Yeah, 2 months yesterday.
So what have you noticed as far as like health, mental, all that stuff? Now that you're at that mark, like what have you noticed that's different, like your day to day, your life, like anything like that? Like what are like the improvements all around that you feel like you've noticed?
So believe it or not, less stress about smoking. So what a lot of smokers don't realize is you literally stress about your next cigarette. And it's actually a myth that smoking takes away your stress. So, like if you're eating, you're rushing through your food just so you can smoke again. When you're on vacation, you're stressing about when you're going to smoke again because obviously you have to find a designated smoking area, and those are few far and in between.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Smoking causes your stress. It doesn't relieve your stress. It causes it. So the moment you put your cigarette out, nicotine has a 45-minute window to where you're craving it again. So within that 45 minutes, you're craving that cigarette again.
And that does make sense because, like I said, some of the ones where I'm like, I can't believe they're doing it at this time or at this place. That makes sense. It has such a power.
It does.
And I think that's the problem with addictions in general. Like just, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
giving your power away to a substance and or a behavior or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Have you felt like it's changed like how your food tastes? Because I've heard that before. Like it changed
Absolutely.
like how your food should
Well, yeah, I
taste.
mean, the smoke enters your mouth, you know, it's changing your taste buds. I haven't noticed it too much because I eat the same thing every day. I mean,
and it's pretty bland.
Yeah, so my food is bland. I don't do anything special to it like Sadie does over here and makes her
all day.
Yeah, makes her food bougie. But I guess I really haven't noticed a huge change, but yes, I have noticed the taste of my food. I haven't had any like tar come up when I cough or whatever. I know a lot of people do, depending on how much they smoke. Apparently, I wasn't a huge smoker compared to some people when I thought I was. But yeah, taste a little bit of a difference, but not like
What
huge.
about workouts like cardio, endurance? I know you don't do like a whole lot of cardio, but even just like endurance with lifts, because
Or like walking around in general.
Yeah, because really smoking does. I mean, it decreases your lung capacity. It vasoconstricts, so you don't get oxygen delivery to like the tissues, to the muscles, and so if you think about it, you know that does have an impact. You know, when people are training and trying to do day-to-day activities.
I guess I really haven't noticed that a whole lot just because I train with intensity every day, especially my compound movements. I mean, we all know compounds take the life out of you.
But here's the thing too, like for you, this is a couple awesome things here about smoking, but because smoking has such an inflammatory response, that hinders your recovery time. So like even though you may not feel these like great improvements, there are improvements because now you're getting better recovery time, you're getting better oxygen delivery, you're getting better nutrient supply because you have better blood flow to the muscles, and then just hormones. You know, smoking can cause fluctuating hormones, and so if your hormones are in check, everything else works better too. So that's exciting for you because you may
Yeah.
not feel those direct effects, but you are having
I honestly
benefits.
can't tell you if I have noticed that or not. To be completely honest with you,
And you may
I'm
not,
sure.
but from a
But it is-
patho-phys
it is
standpoint,
doing it,
it is
yeah.
happening.
And my lungs are clear, and I'm free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good feeling.
Oh, and it's
What about,
better
like-
for your skin too. Your skin, your teeth,
Well,
aesthetics,
I mean, after
your
my
hair.
hiccups last month, my skin is not okay with me. But yeah, don't ask me about last month.
What happened
we're
last month to your skin?
Oh no, it was the stress that caused my skin to break out.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't ask.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Don't ask.
Hashtag
Okay.
lovely
Okay,
thing
so-
of being female.
But that kind of makes sense too. Like if nicotine is a stress, it causes inflammation. It's also going to have an impact on your skin, on your hair, on just growth.
It
Whether
does
it's
thin
in
out your
breath,
breath,
anything, right?
Yeah.
And I don't stink, so that's good.
What were Chris's thoughts?
Oh, he's been wanting me to quit since he met me.
Yeah.
Oh, he hates it. Absolutely hates it.
Yeah. Like from a non-smoker standpoint, I think I would have a lot of trouble being with a partner that did smoke. Like obviously, like being around you when you were smoking, that was different. But we also, weren't
We don't
macking
kiss.
in the back lounge.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So like I would have troubles like being intimate with someone like that.
With smoker's breath.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That, and it gives me a really bad headache in general. I'm also like low key allergic to it. I'm allergic to everything, so that's not saying a lot. But
Yeah, I feel sorry for you.
but yeah, I think I would have a lot. So it's nice that you have a partner that was really supportive, like with you and for you and stuff like that. Because I think there's a lot of people that are wanting to make these type of changes, whether it's smoking, vaping, any type of drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. Even just eating better, eating cleaner, going to the gym, just making healthy life improvements. I think there's a lot of people that meet a lot of resistance with like friends, family, loved ones that don't either one, they don't want to make those changes themselves and they don't understand why that person does. And they find themselves in like a situation where they just don't have like the needed support system. Which like sounds like you didn't have that, which is nice, but like I said, like in my career, I've seen a lot, especially with like alcohol and stuff like that. Like that's just part of their system. That's part of like the social surrounding that they're in, and they just find themselves stuck. Like they want to get out, they want to get that help, they want to make those changes,
But they don't
just
have their support.
They just don't have that support.
Well, remember that that saying that you are the sum of the 5 closest people you surround yourself with. And if
Yeah.
you have somebody who they're trying to get clean, whether it's from alcohol, smoking, drugs, etc., if then you're continuously surrounding yourself with those people. So if you're trying to say I'm going to stop drinking or stop smoking, but then you're choosing to spend your time with, at the bar or
Well, that was like
other
with me and
people,
smoking.
yeah.
I was who I hung around. And, I mean, full disclosure, I don't know if this is going to bleep it out, but I was addicted to cocaine. I mean, it was only 4 to 6 months or whatever back in 2016. But, I mean, I never saw myself ever doing that. I was in the health and fitness industry, which I smoked. But, I mean, I never once thought about doing what I did, but I did because I was around that environment,
Well, I think I can't speak for anyone, but I would think that is common with other ones who get addicted to substances or behaviors where it's like they didn't plan for that to happen, but they were in a certain place at a certain time, and whether it was peer pressure or whether it was just like, I want to
let's try it. Yeah.
Or maybe you're already under the influence of, let's say, alcohol, for example. Well, then your inhibitions are down, and you're more likely to say, yeah, let's try that, and then you do try something that maybe you wouldn't have in your right mind.
I mean, that's why I tried it.
Right.
Was because I was curious. I'm naturally curious.
I also think our location, where we're at, and maybe I'm naive, but I don't know how much exposure or access we have to some of that. I don't know.
Sadie.
Right. Does that? I think that makes a difference because
This
obviously,
is where you come into play.
if you go to a city,
It's going to be
it's
more.
gonna be more.
Heck,
Yeah,
you walk
available.
down
So-
to, what is it, Court Street, downtown Des Moines,
No,
That's getting
Corey,
rough. That's getting rough.
There,
They-
a random person
they
came up to
pull-
me. Do you want to buy some cocaine? Do I know you?
Right. We got asked that a couple times on different
Yeah.
trips, and we're like, no, just keep walking.
Like, what
But,
the hell?
Which, speaking of that, sidetrack real quick, they pulled, or last I knew, and I don't know if this has changed or if it's going to change or whatever, but I was told that they pulled all of the downtown units because the city wants to save money, and that was a big money cost for them. So they pulled, like, the downtown patrol.
See, I don't know
Really?
if that's completely true because we were down there. It's been in the recent future, or
Okay.
the recent
Or-
future, the recent past.
Or if it's something there, because I was talking when we
and
went
they
to,
still had officers down there.
because I was talking to my friend over this weekend, because we went to Chicago for an event and stuff, and we were talking on the way down, and she made that comment that I don't know, so I don't know if they're in the planning on it or if it's
That
in the
could
future
be.
or whatever. But the city, because it was such like a big budget and they were wanting to cut back on
See, that
spending.
seems crazy because
And I'm like,
it's
I'm
getting
sorry,
pretty
there's-
rough.
I'm like, there's already assaults and shootings or whatever with the patrol that's down there now. You're gonna pull that in general, and it's just gonna be a free for all. Like that's just awful. But whatever. I digress.
The other thing that's kind of disturbing, we made this joke. Oh, it's been a while, but the officers look so young. So we had walked by like a group of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, they look.
Well, I'm
they
sure the
look like
older
they're
ones know
babies.
better. Like, I don't want
So,
anything
like,
to
this
do
is
with
super
this.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, with that, like coming from like that kind of standpoint too, I think it's good that they have like the younger guys and girls in those positions, but there's also a super fine line because in my opinion, you don't want someone that's super green in a higher area like that.
What do you mean, super green?
Like fresh out of academy, like
Okay.
new, like a newer officer. On their own, I think there's potential for that to be dangerous, but at the same time, that's also a really good way to get a lot of exposure really fast right away. Like you're just, like, you know, fire
Balls to
hydrant,
the wall.
yeah, type of thing. And you know, when you have the younger people too, me personally, I don't want to be 50 and like running and chasing and fighting after people in their 20s. I'm, you know, 32, and that's already not high on my list of wants to do.
My cousin is a officer in Omaha, and he has some pretty gnarly stories. Like I know
Dude.
he's like held his finger in like a bullet hole before. Yeah, just
Yeah.
it's scary. It is scary.
Yeah. I am very blessed and lucky that I'm in the area that I'm in. I used to want to be in a bigger, busier metro area, but anymore, I got like kids, family, and I just one that just sounds exhausting now. You know, like I am far too tired to be that busy. But it has made me very grateful to not be in a quote super high risk area. I mean, not that we don't have stuff here. It's part of the job, but it's nice.
Right, you just never know.
And I mean, even in this area, kind of going back to what we were talking about, even in this area, we do see our fair share of like drug and alcohol, especially alcohol. But we do see our fair share of like drug related stuff. It's definitely a lot more prevalent than I think a lot of people realize. And I mean, Iowa, we have a lot of meth.
Yep. Knew
Oh,
that.
And Iowa's a pretty big, I mean, Iowa's a really, really big drinking state. Like, we're just, you think of Iowa, you think of
Because there's nothing else to
college
do.
football and drinking. Like, that's
Right.
Iowa. So yeah, like, kind of like we were talking, you know, it is hard to get out of those social circles. And I mean, you guys are talking about people that going to the bars on the weekend. Like, if that's all you know, that's all your friend group knows, that's all you and your spouse know, now all of a sudden you're wanting to make a switch and make a healthier lifestyle, whether that's cut back on drinking, stop drinking completely, or just not even be in those situations. Like, you get a lot of just resistance from the people around you. Like, they think, yo, you don't want to go out and have fun anymore. Like, oh, you can't come out with us. Like, you stop getting invited to things. Like, people don't want you to be around them. What I've noticed is, because every once in a while, like, we'll drink, or like have some wine, or like I like craft beers. Like, that's kind of my thing. So if we go out and we go to like a brewery or something, like, I think it's fun to have like a cool craft beer, like a sour or something like that. Or like at home, it's nice to just have like a glass of wine every once in a while.
Amen.
Right, but it's by no means like all the time. And I've noticed anymore too, like, even when I do just have like a glass of wine, like a craft beer, like, I just kind of feel like meh afterwards. And the next day too, even if I only have like one, maybe two, even the next day I'm like, I can feel it type of thing. So I think I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm just like, it's just not even an interest that I have anymore.
Well, is it worth it?
Yes.
And it is. I mean, it's a poison to your body. It's going to hinder progress.
Yeah.
And your skin, all the inflammatory, and they say too, even as you age, it gets that more difficult for your body to break down the
Maybe
toxins.
just because I'm old.
I mean,
We all are. Jeez.
It is a true thing, just that
I mean,
you
don't get me
can't
wrong, I love
tolerate
my
your
wine.
alcohol like you used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a glass the other night, and I don't know if it was just because it was, maybe it's just too sugary, because I don't do sugar either, which also, low-key, sugar is kind of like a drug. It lights your brain up the same way drugs do, so that's fun if anyone didn't know that. I think we kind of touched a little bit on sugar-free stuff before, like, you gotta have, like, a nice balance between it, but yeah, I don't know if it was just because the wine was super sugary or what, but I had, like, 1 or 2 sips, and I was like, nope, like, it was instant, like, headache, and I was just, like, wasn't feeling it. But like I was getting to, alcohol is one of, if not like the main drug that when you don't do it and you don't partake in it, people ask you why and are mad about it. Like if you said, "Oh, I don't smoke meth," they wouldn't be like, "Well, why not?" You know?
Like, well, duh.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's a good point.
You tell someone, "Oh, I'm not drinking," they're like, "Well, why not?"
Or I don't drink, period.
Or they automatically think you're pregnant.
Yes.
Or
like,
they think you're being a snub.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Or
Like,
like,
so
oh,
what? I just don't feel like drinking. Is
Yeah.
that such a
And not even I
crime?
don't feel like. I just don't
want
drink.
to. Yeah, I just don't want to. And yeah, people get like weird about it or think that, oh, because you're not drinking, like you can't go out and have fun. It's like anymore, I have way more fun not drinking
Yes.
than
You remember everything.
And
You
you
don't
feel
wake up
better
the
the
next
next
day. Oh man,
Yes.
it's the
Right.
next day that gets me.
Dude, it's like a 2 to 3 day hangover anymore. I'm like, I can't hang, man.
No.
I've noticed too, I get into one, like it lowers your inhibitions too, so I find myself a lot more spicy.
Well, it's a depressant.
Yeah, and I nitpick a lot more stuff. Like if I'm going out, and which I haven't done, I couldn't even tell you the last time, probably Mexico. But that was a really good environment, and that was a lot of fun. So I definitely was not.
And that was like a plan.
Wasn't bad, but before that,
And then
prior,
I had to come out and play mom.
yes, bless you.
Aw. It was so funny.
But I can, I shouldn't say remember, but the last few times outside of that, where like I've gone out with Jared, like I find myself getting just like mad at him for literally nothing, and like
Same.
starting fights for nothing just because that's spicy. I don't know, I've
I'm
noticed,
just happy. So,
and I feel like I used to definitely be a lot more like go lucky, have fun, that type of thing. But where I'm at in life right now, like I've got a lot of stress and like I'm just kind of working through stuff. I have felt like it has just made me like
Clint
a
Eastwood?
meaner. Yeah, it's made
get
me
off my lawn.
yeah, it's made me a meaner person. I've noticed the last few times that I shouldn't say drank in excess, but drank more than I normally would. I'm definitely not a person that I want to be. So I think that's been a really big deterrent for me as well. But and also, it's really like organ toxic
Yeah.
too. So that's
To your liver.
yeah, and how detrimental that is, especially if you're trying to like make like health moves and like progress and especially fat loss stuff like that. It basically like shuts all of that off. Like your body stops, burning fat. And you don't realize how many like empty, pointless carbs and calories that alcohol is.
Well, I mean, like I said, alcohol is a poison. You're putting poison in your stomach
Right.
to be
Well,
gone
and
through the
you
liver.
You still do get that inflammatory response.
Yeah. I'm like
similar. And
bloated, pregnant, bloated the next day. Like you just feel my hands get puffy. Just
Wine I'm okay with. It's beer that makes me
yeah.
but even
not
if like you feel
good.
good, it's still slowing your
Right.
growth and it's still slowing your recovery. Like just all the things, even if you feel great with it.
Plus, think about too, like the food that no matter what type of substance, like when you're altered, think about like the food choices that you're making too. It's not great. Like I know, especially when you're out drinking, like you're not like, oh man, I crave a chicken salad. No, it's like give me like the greasiest, dirtiest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you're not
It also,
making good health choices.
it also decreases testosterone. So, men and women have testosterone and, that's good for muscle growth.
Is that why they call it whiskey D? It's because they.
Well, I
You know?
mean,
I don't know. I'd
that's
be interested.
that's a whole different mechanism. Not so much the testosterone.
Let's get it. Let's
Oh, really?
let's get into that.
I-
Why does it? Baby
I-
doctor over here.
I mean, I'm seriously asking. Like, is
I'm
that
pretty
why they
sure
call
that
it
has
whiskey
to
deep?
do with blood flow because
I
that
was
is
just-
a real
okay.
thing.
I was kind of thinking that maybe it's something to do with like the blood flow.
Huh.
But it is a real thing. You know, that's why there's issues. You know, but whiskey deep. Gosh,
Interesting.
I haven't heard it called that in a long time.
Well, I mean, you know me. I would say the whole word, but I don't want to get kicked out. So.
We can't get flagged and taken down. We've
Yeah.
already talked about too many illegal things.
Yeah. This is for educational purposes only.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I just lost. Gosh, you said whiskey dick. And
Oh, see? Ashley needs to watch her mouth, not me.
She's
well,
done
and
here.
also it is a depressant. You know, so
Yeah.
it's going to depress those pathways and.
The penis is gonna be depressed.
Oh no. It's a sad peen.
It's just.
And now we've lost all of our listeners.
Yes.
We will see you again next week.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, I do think it has to do with hindering blood flow.
Yeah.
So anyway, just I think it becomes the choice of.
Oh wait, doesn't it thin out your blood?
it
alcohol?
can. It can.
That's
when
why
I've-
they
I've
don't.
had people like traumas and when they've been drunk.
That's
it's like
right.
It's
Yeah.
a bloodbath. It's
Well,
like
that's
so
like
it does
getting
thin your
tattoos.
blood.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Because
But,
it thins your
like-
blood. They won't tattoo you if you've been drinking.
Right.
Because your blood is thin.
But your
Okay.
ED has to do with the blood flow. So you need good blood flow to that part of the male body. To
The male
yes.
nether regions.
Yes. Yeah.
bits.
So it doesn't matter how thin the blood is. It's more how much blood can
It's
get
just
to the
not
area.
flowing.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah. And it has to be able to flow in, but also has to be able to flow out.
There you go.
Which is
So
where you
guys,
can
don't
get-
drink so much. There you go. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't have fun time.
No sexy time.
What are some ways? So I mean, obviously, like we've all been through that, especially like during prep and stuff. Like you're not supposed to partake in those things, especially like alcohol. And if you're in prep, or even not prep in general, but if you're doing any type of extra special vitamins as far as the bodybuilding aspect goes, that's a pretty big no-no. Like I said, it's very organ toxic, and your spicy vitamins are also very organ toxic. So when you combine those together, that's a recipe for disaster a lot of times, especially if it's like orals only, stuff like that. It's just really hard on your liver, really hard on your kidneys. You have like a higher protein diet combined with that too. Like that's still really hard on like all that stuff. So, yeah, like I said, like, it's affecting people a lot more than they realize as far as like the health stuff goes. But so with that being said, because like I said, we've obviously all gone through prep. And again, you're not supposed to really do anything, alcohol, stuff like that. When you guys are in those situations, have you found like an easy, I don't want to say workaround, but like what's really worked for you are some tips and tricks that we can give people to help them navigate when they're in those situations with like unsupportive partners, being in unsupportive circles, when they're themselves trying to make a change and the people around them have a lot of resistance. Do you guys have anything that you feel like helps kind of navigate those waters a little bit? And
One thing I found, like when we would go to gatherings, social events. I remember we even went to a bachelorette party in Vegas when I was on prep. One thing that did help me out, just to kind of take some of that attention away from like, oh, she's not drinking, is I would get, let's just say like a Diet Coke, but I would have them put it in the glass with the little straw
oh, there you go.
instead of just giving me the can. Or I would ask for water and then put some like Mio drops in it, but again, still have it in the glass. And I usually would ask, kind of just in private to the bartender, like, hey, will you continue to bring my drinks out in this manner? And every bartender I ever said that was just super cool about it.
Yeah.
Just to
and
make
then-
it look like you were drinking.
It wasn't to make it, I didn't want to like pretend I was drinking or anything like that. It was just to take, because if you're just doing that, you're not drawing attention to yourself. So it wasn't that I was like trying to like pretend or like fake that I was drinking. It was just to take some of that obviousness.
Some of the social pressure or like not so much like the side eyes and stuff, but like the constant questions
Or
about
reminder,
it.
like, during a
Yes.
conversation, if everybody's getting drunker and drunker, and then they keep looking over at me with my Diet Coke can,
Yeah.
it's like a reminder, like, oh yeah, she's not drinking. But I
Yeah.
felt like I could partake in just
A
conversation,
little bit more included.
right?
Yeah.
If I just looked like everyone else.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's pretty relatable to, like you said, we're in that situation. It's like you want to feel like you're part of the group and like, you're part of the quote activity without the, well, why are you drinking? What do you
Right.
mean you're not drinking?
Right.
Oh, just one won't hurt you. You can have just one.
mm-hmm.
I've got that a lot, especially like with food.
Yeah.
Like during prep,
Definitely.
like, oh, one bite won't hurt you. Just one cookie won't hurt you. No, it will. Like, and even if in the grand scheme of things, one cookie doesn't physically affect me,
No, but you
that's gonna
already
blow
tasted
my
it.
mentality. Yes,
It's-
And then
Yeah,
you're
it's the
like,
mentality.
oh, I was fine for this one cookie.
Yes.
One more won't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
One more.
Yes.
It's always
And then
one more.
and then it kicks off the cravings a
Yes.
lot, and then you're wanting it a lot. Especially like, again, going back to like prep, or like if you haven't, ate sugar or like quote treats or bad food or whatever for a while, like you have that one bite, it's a very slippery slope, like to just all of a sudden go ham. And it's taken me a really long time to be okay with just having like a bite of a cookie or a bite of cake or something like that. Like, especially if we're at a birthday party, I might share a piece of cake with, one of my kids or something. Granted, I'm not having an entire piece, but beforehand, I would feel like if I'm gonna have a piece of cake, like I'm a full bore.
Yeah,
You
you,
know.
see some people like that where they're
Yes.
either all or
Yes.
nothing.
I think a lot of that comes from like labeling it like a good or bad food. So all of a sudden you label something as a quote bad food, or like a bad substance, or a bad drink. Now all of a sudden your body like craves it because you've told yourself
It's like reverse
no.
psychology.
Yeah. Whereas if I'm like, for me anyway, it's really helped to be like, I allow myself like just a bite of something, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want that near as bad as I thought I did, so I'm not sitting there fixating on it. So food wise, that's really helped me. Is just allowing myself and not labeling it as a bad food. I think has made a really big difference for that type
And
of
maybe
stuff.
that would be a good tip too to tell someone that, okay, prior to eating something, just ask yourself, first of all, why do I want this? Why am I choosing to eat this? Is it a special event like a birthday party? Is it because I'm craving it? Is it because I'm actually hungry? Maybe I should try something else. Like almost like putting a halt and a pause
Yeah.
so that they can reflect on, why they actually want this. And if they truly are just like, because I just want a cookie, giving themselves permission that, okay, I'm going to have
Yeah.
a cookie and it's okay. And I'm
not-
going to stop after one and
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to beat myself up over it and I'm going to move forward.
Yeah, and not feeling like anytime you do something like that, you have to turn around and punish yourself
And
or
start over.
starve yourself. Because
Right.
I think I see that a lot too. Is they'll quote binge on something and then they'll skip the next 3 meals. Well,
and
you're
now
just
their cravings are huge
Yes, and
and
you're
they do
just-
the same thing.
yeah, you're creating that cycle, or you have a bite of something or a full meal of something you're not supposed to, and then they spend 2 hours on a treadmill. Like that's not doing anything. So just figure out how to, in your mind, don't label it as a bad food. Just be like, oh, I'm just gonna have a bite. Realize, oh, that bite was good, and then just move on.
I told you guys the tire analogy, didn't I?
Not sure.
Maybe not. It's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a good one. So, imagine, if you have a box of Oreos, okay, and you have one Oreo. You don't need to eat the whole thing, obviously. So it's kind of like if you had one flat tire, you just fix your flat tire. You don't go around and like slash the remaining tires just because you had one slip up. So it sounds really obvious, but it's, that's how it is with the whole cookie. It's like,
Yeah.
you have one, just move on. Or just like if you get a crack in your cell phone, you don't run your entire phone over
Right.
to completely smash it. You have a
Yeah.
crack and you either
Change
fix
the
it
protector.
or you work around it. Right. You just
Yeah.
move on. And so I think helping people to just figure out, like, it does not have to be this all or nothing mindset.
Yes.
It's how you just are able to move forward and give yourself some grace.
And moderation.
Moderation,
Yes.
right.
Every-
Balance.
everything. I mean, except for math. Don't do math in moderation.
don't do math and balance. There's no balance in math.
But and if someone is to the point where they, they're going out and it's like a wedding or a really special event, and they do choose to drink or whatever, like we just said, in moderation, be like, okay, I'm gonna have 1 or 2 drinks and then I'm good.
You
And it
can
doesn't
still
have to-
have fun in moderation.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be for anyone else other than yourself. And just sit there and think to yourself, I don't want to feel like trash the next day. I know how this is going to make me feel tonight, tomorrow, whatever the case may be. And just remind yourself, is it really worth it? You know, is this something that I really need? Or is this going to feel good for 5 seconds,
Right.
you know, whatever. And then the rest of the time you're just going to feel like trash. Because I know with food with me, I struggled with that for a really long time with like the binge purge. Like I would binge on something, and for, you know, those 5-10 minutes that I was stuffing everything in my face, it felt really good. And then afterwards, I felt like garbage. I felt like horrible. And it was just days worth of mental guilt, physical, just not good.
Well, and that goes for drugs and
Same.
alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, you go.
I said same.
Well,
I didn't mean like
yeah.
same.
You know where I was getting at
Yeah.
though. Like
I
it's,
should have said agreed.
it's that withdrawal period. You know,
And the
cigarettes. It takes 45 minutes, and then that ping goes off. You know, it's the same with food. You have that withdrawal period, and then you eat so much, you feel good, and then feel like crap. Meth. I don't even know how you do meth. Needle?
There's
I think
options.
there's-
Okay,
There's
so-
options.
right.
Okay,
I'm
so
not going to get into it.
okay.
I don't do meth. It's my job. I
I
promise.
don't either, but you have a hit of meth. I don't know. I don't know. You have a hit of meth. You feel great, but then once you're off of it, you feel like crap.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes
Do
you
want me
guys
to-
should see the behind the scenes stuff that's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
We can touch on that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. We're all making awkward eye contact with each other. We'll talk about
Well,
anyway.
do you
we'll
want
come
me
back,
to? Okay.
We'll come back to we'll circle back. We'll have a whole episode on some behind the scenes conversations that literally just happened via eye contact.
Yeah.
But you know, like Nelson
After we
will-
discuss it the correct way, as
Yes.
opposed to just right off the bat.
just another fun episode. But again, kind of to wrap things up.
Is it that time already?
Okay, yeah, we're getting close.
Oh.
We had a lot of side tangents this time, which is fine. But
But I feel like, I mean, other
Was this
than
a
the
good- a
actor-actors
good
thing,
conversation?
I feel like
Yeah.
it was all relative.
yeah,
See, I could talk
was my
addictions
fault.
all day.
That was my fault because I was so intrigued by your Mel Gibson. Because that caught me off
I
guard.
love
and-
him.
And so I just
He's
needed
such
to
a
know.
great
I
actor.
just need it.
And just knowing where he came from, like a huge addict in literally everything, drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes,
And
to
see if he
literally
ever turned his life-
nothing.
Yeah,
Like the man was a crazy bastard.
he got a
Like
little
he
crazy
was
for a little bit.
psycho
Little
for
bit.
yeah. And then I mean, he's come so far. Just
Yeah.
buy a book.
Yeah.
Just buy that one book.
Which again, like we said in the beginning, we will put that in the show notes, so anyone who's curious, they can go check it out. But kind of, you know, the main theme and what we kind of circled back to quite a few times is one, you don't have to label stuff as good or bad, because that just kind of, in our experience, definitely has just made your mind want it more than
Food wise.
Food-wise, yes.
Drug and alcohol wise,
Drug
that's
and
bad.
It's bad.
That's just
we can
bad.
label those as bad. Those are just bad. And again, you know, we're not saying, hey, don't drink, or, you know, if you're in a state or you're in a spot where you choose to do like cannabis or something like that, and that is legal, and that's your jam. We're by no means saying for shame, you know, how dare you type of thing. Just understand that it is definitely impacting, if you're on like a health or fitness journey right now, that is definitely impacting you far more than you realize. And you know,
Physically and mentally.
yes, both. And if you're doing, like I said, I don't know, a 12-week challenge, or even a 6-week or 8-week, it's not the rest of your life. It's not the end of the world. You know, maybe challenge yourself and see if you can sustain from doing any of that, drinking especially, you know, for that time being, and just see the positive impacts that it's made on your life. And if it's something you choose to reincorporate, just understand that it's okay in moderation, and it's okay to just go out and have 1 or 2 drinks, and that's fine. Like, you know, you don't have to go ham. It's okay to have a bite or two of something and not feel like you have to gorge and eat the entire thing. Just learn how to have moderation. And if you're in situations where you're like, like cake, you're at a birthday party and someone has cake, learn to be like, I'm really full from earlier, you know, I don't want to eat the cake. Or if you're bringing your own food and people are throwing shade at you for, you know, having your own food because you brought, you know, chicken and rice and you're not going to eat pulled pork, just be like, oh, I just don't want to eat that right now, or that just, that looks really good, but I think I'm going to eat this. Just
Be polite about it.
be polite, and some people might gripe a little bit or give you some crap, but just understand you're doing what's best for you and what makes you feel good. And if you know that having the drink or that full piece of cake or that pulled pork sandwich at the end of the day isn't going to serve your long-term goals, then is it really worth it? Like I said, for a minute of pleasure, is that worth a week worth of mental and physical guilt? In my experience, probably not. But you just kind of got to learn how to navigate stuff in your own way, and learn how to have boundaries with other people when they're trying to get you to come back and have resistance against those changes, and just really do what's best for you and your body. You only have one body, so might as well take care of it while you got it.
Amen.
So
Tell those haters to F off. That's what I would do. That's what I have done. Like,
there you go.
screw you. I'm gonna do what's best for me, not for you.
I wouldn't expect any different.
Yeah, I'm kind of the a-hole of the group.
So with that, if they don't respect your boundaries, just be like Nelson and tell them to vigorously pound sand.
Yeah.
All right, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll see you for the next one.
Bye.
See ya.